What if your family turned your grief into their greatest heist? My name is Myra Townsend, and I'm 28 years old. 3 weeks ago, after my grandmother passed away, my parents took everything she had, every savings account, every property, every retirement fund, and left me a run-down house with a caving roof, black mold, and broken plumbing. They laughed about it. My sister filmed me crying and sent it to the family group chat. But a week later, the repairman called. His voice was shaking. "Ma'am, we found something in the wall. The police are here." When I saw what my grandmother had hidden, even I turned pale. Before I go on, please like and subscribe. Let me know what time it is where you are right now. Let me take you back to the day we buried my grandmother. The chapel smells like lilies and floor polish. I'm sitting in the front pew, staring at a mahogany casket. 3 years. That's how long I spent in Grandma Lorraine's house on Maple Lane. 3 years of midnight medication runs, 3 in the morning oatmeal, changing wound dressings while she gripped my wrist and told me stories about my grandfather. I dropped out of nursing school at 25 to take care of her. Lost most of my friends, burned through every dollar I earned at the clinic. My parents stand somewhere behind me. Dad in his charcoal suit, shaking hands like he's running for mayor. Mom dabbing her eyes with a tissue, just enough for the neighbors to notice, never enough to smudge her mascara. My sister Vanessa leans against the doorframe, phone out, typing a caption about forever in our hearts. They visited once a month, 20 minutes, sometimes less. I carried a folding chair from home because the hospice only had one beside her bed. That same chair is in my car right now. I sat in it every single night for 1,000 nights, and nobody in this room knows that except me and God. After the service, Dad appears beside my trunk. "I cleaned out her place last night," he says. "Lawyer reads the will tomorrow morning. Don't get your hopes up." Her body isn't even cold yet. Attorney Harrow's office is small and brown. Dad's in the center seat. Mom's to his left, clutching her purse. Vanessa's on the end, scrolling her phone. I take the chair closest to the door. Harrow opens a manila folder. Savings accounts totaling $480,000 to Gregory and Diane Townsend. The Oak Street rental property assessed at $310,000 to Gregory and Diane Townsend. Retirement funds $410,000 to Gregory and Diane Townsend. I stop breathing. To my granddaughter, Myra Townsend. I leave the residential property at 14 Maple Lane. Current assessed value $35,000 as is. The room tilts. $35,000 for a house with a caving roof, black mold, and broken plumbing. "That can't be right," I whisper. "She told me I'd be taken care of." Dad cuts in. "She said that to everyone. This is black and white, Myra." Vanessa snorts, aims her phone at my face. I hear the shutter sound. My hands are shaking and she's filming it. 10 minutes later, a message pops up in the family group chat. "Little sis got the haunted house. LOL." I stare at the signature page. Grandma Lorraine's name is there, but the handwriting trembles like a seismograph. That's not how she wrote. Not when she was strong. 14. Maple Lane greets me with a puddle in the hallway. The roof leaks in 3 places. The kitchen faucet runs rust-colored water for 40 seconds before clearing. Upstairs, the bedroom is spotted with black mold. The toilet doesn't flush. The breaker box sparks when I flip the switch. I sleep on a sleeping bag in the living room that first night, listening to the house settle around me. In the morning, I sit at the kitchen table with my phone calculator. Part-time at the clinic, $1,800 a month. Medical debt from Grandma's care, $18,000. Cost to make this house livable, $25,000 minimum. The math doesn't work. But then I find the cookbook. It's on the top shelf above the stove, grease-stained and held together with a rubber band. Grandma Lorraine's handwriting on the inside cover, and tucked between the pages, a small card in her careful cursive. "Maple Lane is yours, my girl. Look closer." That afternoon, my neighbor across the street, Mr. Carter, 71, retired postman, knocks on the door holding a casserole dish. "Lorraine told me something once," he says. "If you ever moved in here, I should tell you to call Frank Beckett." His number's taped behind the kitchen cabinet. 1 week after the reading, Dad calls. I've been thinking about your situation. His voice is warm on the surface, calculating underneath. That house is a money pit, Myra. I found a buyer. $40,000 cash. You take that, pay off your medical bills, rent somewhere else. Clean start. $40,000 for a property he swore was worthless. Why do you care about a house you said nobody wants? I care about my daughter, he says. I let the silence sit. Then Vanessa calls. Sell the house, Myra. Don't be stupid and sit in that dump. She pauses. Besides, someone's buying up that whole block. Land values are going up. She hangs up before she realizes what she just said. I sit at the kitchen table staring at the phone. If land values are going up on Maple Lane, then why did they give me this house? Unless it isn't a throwaway. Unless it never was. I find the number exactly where Mr. Carter said. A strip of masking tape behind the cabinet above the stove, yellowed with age. Frank Beckett picks up on the second ring. When I tell him Lorraine passed, the line goes quiet. She was the kindest woman I ever worked for, he says finally. He comes the next morning. He's 65, broad-shouldered, white hair under a faded cap. He walks through the house the way a doctor examines a patient, pressing walls, checking joints, tilting his head at the ceiling. Roof needs replacing, plumbing's shot, kitchen wiring's hazardous. He raps his knuckles against the living room wall. But the bones are solid. Lorraine kept this place up better than people think. He quotes me a price that's half what anyone else would charge. Your grandmother already paid me, he says. 15 years of kindness is worth more than invoices. Upstairs, he measures the bedroom walls. When he reaches the far wall, the one facing the backyard, he taps his knuckles against it and stops. Tilts his head. Taps again. Huh? What? Nothing, probably. He scribbles a measurement in his notebook. Wall sounds different here. Could be an old repair. I'll check it when we start demo. He moves on. I tell Dad I'm not selling. He shows up the next evening. No phone call, no warning, just headlights in the driveway, then both of them on my porch. Dad in his work jacket. Mom already dabbing her eyes. Mom goes first. Sweetheart, we're worried about you. This house is dangerous. Then Dad steps forward and the mask comes off. Listen carefully, Myra. You held power of attorney over your grandmother for 3 years. If you fight us on this, I will hire a forensic accountant to audit every dollar on your watch. And when that audit raises questions, and it will, I'll make sure your clinic hears about it. The air leaves my lungs. You're saying you'd accuse me of stealing from her? I'm saying the numbers need to add up. One phone call, Myra. That's all it takes. I know I'm clean. I paid her bills from my own checking account. But I also know that an accusation of elder financial abuse, even an unfounded one, would end my career before any investigation clears me. He knows that too. They leave. I lock the door and sit on the floor in the dark. The card from the cookbook is on the kitchen counter. Look closer. I can't sleep, so I research. Ridgemont's town planning records are public. I pull them up on my phone at 2 in the morning. It takes 20 minutes to find what I'm looking for, and when I do, my hands go cold. The town council approved a mixed-use development project for the Maple Lane corridor 18 months ago. Property values in the surrounding blocks have increased 15-fold. Similar lots 2 streets over sold for $600,000, $700,000. My house, the $35,000 wreck my parents left me, is sitting on land worth more than $500,000. They didn't give me this house because they felt sorry for me. They gave it to me because they planned to buy it back for pocket change once I was too broke to hold on. I close my phone and call Frank. I want to fix the house, I tell him. Fix it for real. I'm not selling. When do we start? Tomorrow. That night, I flip through Grandma Lorraine's cookbook one more time. I almost miss it. A second card tucked into the very last page, her handwriting smaller. The bedroom wall keeps my secrets warm. L. I read it 3 times, and I wonder what a woman with nothing left to lose decided to hide in the walls of the only place she trusted. Frank arrives at 7 sharp with a truck full of tools. We start with the roof, peeling off rotten shingles, laying new tar paper. By noon, my arms ache and my shirt is soaked through. After lunch, we move upstairs. Frank pulls his tape measure along the far wall. He taps his knuckles against it in 3 different spots. Hollow, hollow, solid, hollow. He frowns, measures the wall's depth with a laser tool, then measures the hallway on the other side. 8 inches, he mutters. What? This wall is 8 inches thicker than it should be. Somebody added a false layer. He turns to me. His face is different now. Careful. Myra, there's something behind this wall. The card flashes through my mind. The bedroom wall keeps my secrets warm. Frank works slowly. Pry bar first, easing the outer layer of drywall away from the studs. Behind it, a second layer. Plywood, nailed tight, sealed with caulk. This wasn't a patch job. Somebody built this on purpose. He removes the plywood panel. Behind it, a cavity lined with plastic sheeting. And sitting in the center, wrapped in a heavy-duty garbage bag, sealed with packing tape, a fireproof document box. Gray metal. That's not insulation, Frank says quietly. I climb up beside him. My fingers are trembling as I peel away the tape and unzip the bag. The box is heavy. I pop the latch. Inside, a document, 8 pages, stapled in the corner. A notary seal on the last page. A signature I recognize instantly. Grandma Lorraine's real handwriting, clear and steady, nothing like the shaking scrawl in the will Harrow read to us. Beneath the document, a hardcover notebook. Navy blue, filled cover to cover with her handwriting, dates in the margins, names, dollar amounts, and at the bottom of the box, a sealed envelope. On the front, in her careful cursive, "For Myra, when you're ready." Frank picks up the first page, reads it. His face drains. "Myra," his voice sounds wrong. "This is a different will. It leaves everything to you." I stare at the page. "The will they read to your family," Frank says, "is a fake." The room tilts. I grab the door frame to stay upright. We sit on the bedroom floor, the notebook between us. Frank reads over my shoulder. Neither of us speaks for a long time. The first entry is dated 4 years ago. January 15th. Diane came today. She brought papers. She said they're for the bank. I can't see the small print. She guided my hand. I signed. I don't know what I signed. March. Greg told me Myra is spending my money. It's not true. Myra bought my blood pressure medication with her own paycheck. The entries continue month after month. Amounts withdrawn. Papers presented. Lies told. Near the end, 3 months before she died. Ruth helped me today. She drove me to her house. Mitch Thompson from the church witnessed. Betty Cole notarized. I signed my real will. Ruth is keeping a copy. I'm hiding the original where only Myra will think to look. The final entry. Her handwriting wavers. They changed my will while I lay in bed. They think I don't know. But God knows, and Myra will know. Below it. Call Ruth Calloway if you need proof. She was there. Frank closes the notebook gently. Myra, this is a crime. Frank makes the call before I can argue. What's in that notebook is elder financial abuse, forged signatures, coerced documents. In this state, that's a felony. 2 officers arrive within the hour. They photograph the wall cavity, the box, the notebook. They read selected entries while I sit on the staircase holding the sealed envelope I haven't opened yet. Officer Reyes calls Adult Protective Services from my kitchen. When she comes back upstairs, her tone has shifted. Professional, but softer. Ma'am, these documents suggest serious crimes against a vulnerable adult. APS will open an investigation. The district attorney's office will be notified. She hands me a card. Call Legal Aid of Ridgemont County. Ask for the Elder Law Division. After they leave, the house is very quiet. Frank stands in the hallway with his cap in his hands. What are you going to do? I look at the notebook on the bedroom floor, at the wall where my grandmother hid the truth. I'm going to call Ruth. Ruth Calloway answers on the first ring. When I tell her who I am, she starts crying. Not the calculated kind, the real kind. I didn't know she'd passed, Ruth says. Your father told me she didn't want visitors. That wasn't true, was it? No, ma'am. She recognized me until the very end. I have the copy, Myra. The real will. Lorraine came to my house 3 months before she died. She was sharp, clear-eyed. She knew exactly what she was signing. Ruth agrees to testify whenever, wherever. Attorney Denise Harlow has an office the size of a walk-in closet. She's maybe 50, silver-streaked hair pulled back, reading glasses on a chain. She works elder law pro bono through legal aid. She reads the notebook in 30 minutes, the real will in 5. She sets both documents on her desk and removes her glasses. The will your father presented was signed under duress or forged. The signatures show inconsistencies consistent with guided hand manipulation. She taps the notarized will. This one has proper witnesses, a licensed notary, and a testator who was demonstrably competent. What happens now? 3 things. First, I file a petition to invalidate the fraudulent will. Second, I coordinate with APS and the DA. Elder financial abuse is a felony. Third, I request an emergency order to freeze all assets. That stops your father from spending whatever he hasn't already spent. One more thing, Denise says. Your parents are hosting a memorial brunch for your grandmother next Saturday at the church. She holds my gaze. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will tell you this. Truth is not defamation. I leave her office with a manila folder and something I haven't felt in weeks. A plan. It's Wednesday night. I'm eating cereal when my phone buzzes. A friend from the clinic sent me a screenshot. Vanessa's Facebook Marketplace listing. 3 items. Grandma Lorraine's wedding ring. The thin gold band she wore for 55 years. Listed at $200 OBO. Lorraine's family photo album. 60 years of memories. $15. Her hand-embroidered handkerchiefs, made during chemo, 1 for each grandchild. $5 each. The caption reads, "Estate cleanout. Everything must go." I call Vanessa. She picks up chewing something. "That's her wedding ring," I say. "She wore it every day of her life." "It's a ring, Myra. It's not Grandma. I want to buy it back." 500. $500 is nearly a third of my monthly paycheck. I transfer it the next morning. When the ring arrives in a padded envelope, no note, just the band rattling loose, I sit at the kitchen table and hold it in my palm. It's warm within seconds, like it was waiting. They took her money. They took her house. And now they're selling her wedding ring for the price of a dinner. Something shifts in my chest. Not rage. Something colder. Quieter. I put the ring on my finger. It fits perfectly. Saturday's brunch is all over the Ridgemont Community Facebook page. Dad posted it himself. A celebration of life for Lorraine Townsend. All are welcome. A celebration of life, organized by the people who drained hers. Mom calls Thursday evening. "Wear something nice, okay? Please be on time." A pause. "And Myra, don't say anything strange. People don't need to hear family business." Dad gets on the line. "This is a day to honor your grandmother. You show up, you smile, you sit down. We handle the talking." His voice drops. "Don't embarrass this family." "I'll be there," I say. Ridgemont Community Church Fellowship Hall. 10:15 in the morning. The tables are covered in white linen. I count roughly 90 people. Neighbors, church friends, women from Lorraine's book club. Pastor Thompson sits in the front row. Mr. Carter is 3 rows back. And there, second row, left side, Ruth Calloway. She catches my eye and gives the smallest nod. Her purse sits heavy in her lap. She brought the copy. Frank stands by the exit door. Dad is at the microphone. Charcoal suit, polished shoes, a voice like warm honey. Mom gave everything for this family. She was the heart of this home. Mom sits beside the podium, tissue pressed to her nose. Vanessa runs the slideshow from a laptop. I watch the photos scroll. Lorraine at Christmas, Lorraine at Vanessa's graduation, all smiles. Not a single photo of me. 3 years beside her bed, and I've been cropped out as cleanly as I was cropped out of the will. Dad opens the floor. "If anyone would like to share a memory of Mom, please come up." I stand. Every chair in the room creaks as heads turn. Dad's jaw tightens. Mom's tissue stops mid-dab. Vanessa's hand freezes on the laptop. I walk to the front. My black dress, Lorraine's ring, the notebook in my hand. I face the room. 90 faces. Thank you all for being here, I say. My voice is steady. Grandma Lorraine would have loved seeing this many people she cared about in one room. I tell them about the 3 years, briefly. The overnight shifts, the medication schedules, the morning oatmeal, the folding chair I carried from room to room. But there's something about Grandma that most of you probably don't know. I lift the notebook just enough for the room to see it. She was a writer. She wrote in this notebook every single day for 4 years, and she asked me to share her words. The room is silent. Dad stands. Myra, sit down. This isn't the time. I look at him directly, calmly. You told me this was Grandma's day, Dad. I hold his gaze. So let Grandma speak. He doesn't move. Mom grabs his arm. I open the notebook. My hands are shaking, but my voice is Lorraine's now. And I begin to read. I read 3 passages. Just 3. January 15th. Diane came today. She brought papers. She guided my hand. A murmur moves through the room. March 9th. Greg told me Myra is stealing my money. It's not true. Myra buys my medicine with her own paycheck. Dad's face goes white. November 3rd, they changed my will. I know because Ruth told me the lawyer called about updated instructions. I never gave any updated instructions. Total silence. Then Ruth Calloway rises from the second row, 72 years old, 5'3", wearing her Sunday pearls. Her voice doesn't waver. Lorraine asked me personally. She was fully competent. Ruth looks directly at my father. Pastor Thompson was the other witness. He's sitting right there. Every head turns to the front row. Pastor Thompson stands slowly. Ruth is telling the truth. Lorraine asked me personally. She was fully competent. Dad lunges for the microphone. This is ridiculous. But nobody sits, and nobody is looking at my father the same way anymore. Something breaks behind his eyes. He steps toward me, hand out, reaching for the notebook. Give me that. You have no right. I pull the notebook to my chest. This is Grandma telling her own story. His neck flushes red. His voice rises. Who do you think you are? Mom is crying. The real kind. Mascara streaking, shoulders caving. Mr. Carter stands. His voice is flat and steady. Diane, I've lived across from Lorraine's house for 20 years. Myra's car was in that driveway every single day. Your car? Once a month. Vanessa shoves her chair back. You're all taking her side because she played the victim. Dad grabs the microphone stand and pushes it. It hits the table with a sharp crack. Mom seizes his arm. They walk toward the exit. Dad 2 steps ahead. Mom half jogging. Vanessa trailing behind. The door closes. The room exhales. Through the fellowship hall windows, I watch my family cross the parking lot. They stop. 2 police cruisers are parked beside Dad's SUV. A woman in a gray blazer leans against the hood. Sandra Park from APS. Beside her stands a plainclothes detective. The detective steps forward. Mr. Townsend, Mrs. Townsend, I'm Detective Morris, Ridgemont County. We need to ask you some questions regarding a complaint filed by Adult Protective Services concerning the estate of Lorraine Townsend. Dad straightens. This is a misunderstanding. My daughter is emotional. Sir, this isn't about your daughter. This is about your mother's bank records and a notarized will that contradicts the one filed with the county. Mom's knees buckle. Vanessa steps back, physically separating herself from her parents. Detective Morris turns to Vanessa. Miss Townsend, I'd like to speak with you separately. Were you aware of any changes made to your grandmother's will? Vanessa opens her mouth, closes it. Her eyes dart to Dad, then away. Inside, Ruth places her hand on my shoulder. She'd be so proud of you, Ruth whispers. I nod. I can't speak yet, but I can stand. 3 weeks pass. A probate judge reviews both wills, the notebook, the witness testimonies, and the APS investigator's report. The will presented by Harrow is declared invalid. Signatures obtained under duress. Fraudulent testamentary intent. Lorraine's real will, the one she hid in the wall, is upheld as binding. I inherit the house, the savings accounts, the retirement funds, and the Oak Street rental property. Total estate value, approximately $1.2 million. Greg and Diane are each allotted $50,000. Vanessa receives $25,000, but the savings, $480,000, is gone. Spent. My parents burned through it in less than 2 months. The judge orders full restitution. They must repay every dollar. To cover it, they'll have to sell their own house. The district attorney's office formally opens a criminal investigation. Elder financial abuse, forgery, coercion. 2 felony counts each for Greg and Diane. Vanessa cooperates with the DA in exchange for reduced charges, a misdemeanor, probation. Denise calls me the evening the ruling comes through. The court doesn't care about family feelings, it cares about what's legal. Dad calls from a blocked number. His voice is thin and breathless. Myra, please, I'm losing the house. Your mother can't sleep. Can't you just drop this? I close my eyes. We made a mistake, but we're your parents. I let the silence hold for 3 breaths. Dad, I loved you. I loved Mom. I dropped out of school, gave up 3 years of my life, and went $18,000 into debt taking care of the person you both abandoned. And when she died, you didn't just take her money. You tried to take mine. My voice doesn't shake. I can't drop this because Grandma asked me not to. I hang up. I block the number. 3 months after the memorial brunch, 14 Maple Lane doesn't look like the same house. New roof, slate gray, fresh white paint, hardwood floors sanded and sealed. The kitchen has new counters. The bathroom has hot water. I sit on the porch in the evening studying anatomy for my nursing exams. Lorraine's ring on my right hand. Some nights I walk through the upstairs hallway and stop at the bedroom wall. Frank installed a small oak plaque where the false panel used to be. It reads, Lorraine's wall. I don't live in Grandma's old house anymore. I live in mine. I take out the letter one more time, the cream-colored paper with the pressed wildflower border. I read the last line. You were the only one who stayed, not for the money, not for the house. You stayed because you loved me. That's why everything is yours. Outside, Mr. Carter is walking his dog. He waves. I wave back. Down the street, Ruth turns the corner with a bakery bag. She brings scones every Sunday now. People ask me if I hate my parents. I don't. Hate takes energy. I'd rather spend it elsewhere. I just don't need them to define who I am anymore. The house on Maple Lane was supposed to be my punishment. Grandma turned it into my beginning. If someone ever tries to erase you, if they smile while they take what's yours, don't scream. Don't beg. Just keep writing. The truth always finds a wall to hide in, and someone brave enough to open it. Thank you for staying until the end. I shared this because if you're being treated unfairly by people who are supposed to love you, you have every right to set a boundary. You are not selfish for protecting yourself. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I've got more stories like this one coming. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one.